a board game from the birds. According to the back, it says, you are a bird enthusiast. I'm a bird enthusiast? Well, I'm a bird enthusiast, and one of my favorite games is Wingspan. Wingspan is an engine building game, which is kind of like a deck building game without the deck. And a deck building game is kind of like Monopoly if you change every single rule about Monopoly. If none of that made any sense to you, don't worry. There's only 4 things you can do in this game, and they're all listed here on your board. Play a bird, gain food, lay eggs, or draw bird cards. Got things set up while you were over there? Let's dish out the cards. Each player gets 5 bird cards with the wings on the back, and 2 bonus cards with the green, berries on the back. Next, we can check out our bonus cards and decide which one of these we want. We have more of this type of nest already, so let's keep that one. We can just ignore that for a while. And you can keep as many of these birds as you want, but for each bird that you turn in, you get a unique food token. So I'm going to grab a worm and a rat. Let's go over the basic moves. If you want to play a bird card, you put your cube on the play a bird section. In general, you want to pay the cost of the bird, which is located up here. This one has slashes in between them, which means that it eats either or, versus this one, which has pluses on it, which means that it needs all of them. He can eat a worm, wheat, or cherry, so we'll feed him a worm and put him down in my forest. You can decide which place to put him down based off of what their diamond says. They're the 3 types of diamonds: forest, plains, water, whatever you want to call them. Green, yellow, blue, it all works. Now then, on your next turn, you might want to play another bird card, and you'd be like, heck yeah, let's put it in the forest as well. But now there's an additional cost up at the top there. If you look, that's a little egg saying that you need to pay 1 egg in order to play a bird in that column. So before we can play that, we actually have to lay eggs. I guess we'll go there then, eh? When you lay eggs, you base it off of the symbol. This one says 2. Eventually it'll be 3, 4, etc. We lay 2 eggs, and we have to put them on a bird. And underneath their little feathers and their nest type is a number of egg shapes, and that's how many eggs can fit on that bird. This one can hold 4. So I'll put the 2 there, and that's my turn that time. On the next turn, I can play a bird card like I wanted to. So I put this guy down in my forest. He eats a rat and takes a egg, and now I've played him. And that's my go. Woo! Next turn, I want to play a bird card, but I don't have any food to play a bird card with. And my guy eats a bunch of food. So what we need to do is gain food. What does he eat? 2 wheats and an anything. That's cool. Check it out. There's lots of wheats in there. So let's take a wheat from this guy. You take the dice out, convert them into tokens, and the tokens go over here. Then you go down the way, and we'll get into what birds do when they activate a little bit later, but you'd get some extra stuff. That's that turn. Then you gotta wait. And oh man, we need another food, so we gotta get food one more time. Let's take the rat, and well, we don't need wheat anymore, and everything in there is wheat. So why don't we roll the bird feeder? When all the faces match, you are able to roll the bird feeder. Woo! Alright, let's take this fish. Yoink. That'll be good for later or something. And that is your turn. And then we want to play another bird. Trumpeter Swan. It's worth a lot of points. It's a good guy. He goes and only lives in the water. He eats 2 wheat and an anything. We'll make it a rat. And he doesn't require any other eggs because it's the first column where it's free. Now, I'd love to play bird cards on my next go, but I don't have any bird cards. So, why don't we gain bird cards down here? The amount of bird symbols down here will determine how many cards you get to get. And we can pull from either the 3 face-up ones, whoopsie doopsie, or we could draw from the deck. I have 1 fish. If I want to play a bird next round, this guy eats anything, could live anywhere. I think that's a good fit. Refresh here. Excellent. Ah! Wingspan fell over. With that, on our last turn in round 1, we'll be able to play a bird. They eat anything, so they'll eat a fish, and it doesn't even require an egg because it's the first column. And that was a super successful round 1. At the end of round 1, you go over here. Round 1, birds in the plains. How many points did you get? We only have 1 bird in the plane, so we get 1 point at the end of round, and then we reset all of these. We put these guys away and then put a new set out, and the person who goes first passes to the next player, and so on and so forth. Each round gets slightly shorter because you are using one of the cubes to keep track of your score points. The last round you have 5 moves instead of 8 moves. And it goes very fast, and you will definitely reach a point where you go, oh no, I needed to do more stuff. That's Wingspan. That was pretty good. That's a real brief overview of how the main mechanics go. And everything after that is just a little bit noodly. Yeah, you want to play Wingspan with me? You want to play Wingspan? Brrr. This is not just because it's round 2, this is all the time. When you move over, some birds have this brown band that says, when activated, do something. That means when you activate the row that it's in, you move the cube from right to left, you get the food first, then you move over to this one, put the cube on it, and read what it says. When activated, roll the dice that are not in the bird feeder, that's these guys. You roll a rat, which I didn't, and you hardly ever do. You get to cash it, which means you would take one of these, and then you'd put it on the card, and that's an extra point at the end. But we didn't roll a rat, so we don't get to do that. But that's okay, we move over to this other guy that says gain 1 wheat from the supply. This is the bird feeder, that's the supply, we gain from there. When our cube makes it all the way to the left of our board, that's when we go, all right, that was my turn. Woo! So on this turn, I'm gonna gain some eggs, and because it's one of the even number ones, you see what I mean? It has the symbol down below. It's a little pie chart that represents any food. Arrow becomes an egg. So if I wanted to, why not? I will discard this rat so I can lay an extra egg. So that means I get the 2 basic, 1 from the food, and I can put these around. Everybody gets an egg. Move that over there. Excellent, excellent, excellent. We're gonna play this guy who eats an anything and a fish, but I don't have a fish. I do have 3 anythings though. And that's where that symbol up at the top, 2 anythings become 1 anything. So I'm gonna use this worm for the anything on this card. Yoink. And then to get the fish, I can turn in two any tokens. They don't even have to match. Any tokens, 2 become 1. A worm and a wheat become a fish, and I'm able to play this guy right here. And he hatches from an egg. Woo! Look at us go. Yep, no birds over there. At the end of all the rounds, you'll break out the scorecard and add up bird points, which are the feather points on each individual card. Bonus cards, which are these green guys if you succeed in your challenges. End of round goals, which are these cubes over here that you're keeping scores on. Number of eggs on birds, so right now I got 2. Food on cards means cached food specifically. And tuck cards, which are specific to other birds, where you put one face down underneath. You add all those together and you'll get your score. And my personal high score is 100. Let me know if you've played this game and have beaten that, because I will be very impressed. That's Wingspan for you. I really like this game. Let me put up my scores. I don't know what my scores are right now. Probably like strategy, social, time playing the game. Strategy is how much you have to think about the game. Social is how much you can talk to the people around you. And time playing the game is how much of the game that you're actually playing. So, you know, D&D would be very high social, very low playing the game. I like looking at the birds. It's just a nice little time. I like building engines. Good amount of luck. And there's plenty of time that it's not your turn, that you can either be thinking about what you're gonna do next, or you can be chatting with the people that you're with. I think it's a good balance. These are the things that are important to me.
It's over!
My cat's being funny.
Why must it be now?
This is the bird feeder. This is the... Woo. Hi, Louie. How's it going? That's for birds, not for dogs.